the in-between. Vaults in the shadows, screen says soon, like a ghost in the glow of a neon moon. NFTs in his pocket used to flex that wealth. Mickey and Marvel stacking them shelves, but now they dust, just a digital ghost. Vault's got a past, but tonight he's the host.
Starting soon, hold your breath. The clock ticks closer to digital death. Vault in the dark, you know the tune. Just wait for it, starting soon.
He sold a Coke NFT, thought it'd never go flat. Now it's worth less than a Subway rat. Universal dreams in a JPEG frame. Vault's fortune faded, but he's still in the game. Keyboard clicks, the chat's alive. The hype's building up like a beehive. This is the wait, the eerie calm before the chaos drops like a ticking bomb.
Starting soon, hold your breath. The clock ticks closer to digital death. Vault in the dark, you know the tune. Just wait for it, starting soon.
Creeping, air feel dense, room full of whispers, none make sense. Heartbeat echoes, the clocks tick slow. Vault cracks open, time to let it show. Specters lurking, cold in the chest. Ghostly voices, paranormally correct. Sips crawl upward, tension in the air. Baseline breathing, drums say beware. Paranormally correct. OG balls in effect. Page electric beats resurrect. Money groove, spirits connect. OG balls in effect. OG ball, always direct. Paranormally correct. OG balls in effect. Energy electric beats resurrect. Money groove, spirits connect. OG balls in effect. OG ball, always direct.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's time for this week's Paranormally Correct live stream. Let's go. We got a lot of OGs in the chat. It's good to see, even though it looks like they're not going for drops. What do you mean you're not going for drops? I'm just kidding. I'm not either. Sometimes. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I'm going to try to play my gift without messing up my chat this time. Let's see if it works.
Yes. Yes.
Ahoy, ahoy, Mr. Denny OC. Good to see my man Thandu was first in the chat today. I was chatting to him about a drop coming up, maybe a Street Fighter. I think it's Chun-Li. If it's Chun-Li, that's my favorite. Chun-Li and Blanca. I've got 600 gems. I might go for it. We got OG Mario C in the house. Let's go. Good to see you, my man. We got that Batman badge. Alejandro. Let's get it going. Good to see you, my man. Denny OC. Ahoy, ahoy. I can't go all the way back to see who I was here. I can't hear that. What's up, Rob T? Good to see you, my man. We got lots to talk about. I don't even know if we should even talk about politics anymore. Does it even matter anymore? What's the point? I don't even know. All right, I'm going to try to just move on because I watched it back last week, and this is the most boring part, me saying what's up to everybody and just chatting. We'll chat more at the end when we get to everything else, but let's jump right into it and get to our paranormal topic. I've been doing a lot about ghosts lately, so I want to get back to UFOs and my favorite type of UFO. Let me turn me up. I look like I'm a little low. My favorite type of UFO, or the orb UFOs, because man, you get some really good footage of those orbs. They've captured some in the Middle East. The military has and has released videos about them. I've got like 6 or 7 of them. I want to know what you guys think. Let me play the videos first, and then we're going to do a poll to see if you guys believe that that orbs, I don't know. What's the question? Are they, I would say they're extraterrestrial. That's the real question, because who's making these? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're military, because they're obviously there. They're obviously metal. Let's get into the first one. Let me get my notes up here because I have each one. Okay, so this one, all right. I started off with a good one instead of starting off with the, weak one first. This one's in Chicago, and it just happened a couple years ago. Let's play it first, and I'll talk and get into it. Somebody just captured this on their phone. What the? Now watch close here. We're gonna play it back in a sec. There's one orb there, but there's a bunch of orbs. And they fly off in the V formation. So the first thing you have to ask yourself when you see a video like this, after you watch it a couple of times, you're like, whoa, this is trippy. It's one of two things. Either it's really there, of course, or the other one is that it's CGI. But with this video in particular, watch the way that you can see all the other UFOs in between the trees. And that's what this person who made this video and analyzed it did. They're going to be pointing them out. You'll see little green arrows. You are not CGI in that. This is not CGI. It can't be CGI. That would be too hard to do. Plus, they're taking it not only out of focus, but moving the camera away from where the main UFO is. And if you were making CGI, of course, you don't want to do that. You want people to see what you made. Now, I'm going to back it up at the end here and do some slow motion and some zooming in. Because what's really impressive is when they fly away all in formation. Because it's certainly a V formation. And they're obviously metallic. They're orbs. I want to know what you guys think it is. Give me some theories. All right, obviously it could possibly be extraterrestrial. Maybe there's some little green men in it. Obviously, maybe they'd be controlling it from somewhere else. I don't think there's actually creatures inside. Don't worry, I'm going to flip it sideways for you. See them at the end there fly off? And you can even see the ones on the right coming through. We'll slow it down. And they form a V formation. And I don't think it's CGI because it's too complicated to be CGI. So what in the world was that they saw that day? Imagine you were out in your backyard and you see this up in the sky. These metal orbs, these little balls. They don't look like they're very big, but you can't really tell because they're so far away. It's hard to judge how big something is. But then they all fly off in a V formation. Like they can't be drones. Could they be birds? Do they look like birds? I mean, I feel like these days the cameras are so good. This was 2023. We'd be able to tell if they were birds. But it is a good idea because those do fly in V formation. You make a good point there. All right, like I said, I've got a few of them, though, so let's get into them. This is one that was released by the military. And they only released one of these. Like I said, it was in the Middle East. But you can see in the top line because they released this document, too. This was in Congress. We're going to have a couple here that they showed in Congress. And it says on that top line, their UAP characteristic and behavior is consistent with other. Notice they said other metallic orb observations in there. So they've definitely observed multiple ones. This is just one of them. And this is definitely something. They clearly don't know what it is. Please tell me what you think this is.
You'll see it come through the top of the screen. There it goes. And then the camera will slew to follow it. You'll see it pop in and out of the field of view there. This is essentially all of the data we have associated with this event from some years ago.
But it's just so not aerodynamic. I hear what you're saying on drone tech. I haven't seen any circular drones. I would not be surprised if I saw one, though. But would they even be able to make it because it has no aerodynamicism? That's not a word. All right, another one from Congress. They just showed this in Congress, and your boy Shifty Schiff is in this one.
Mr. Bright, can you rerun that first image? It looked like it was outside of a plane window. And if you wouldn't mind going up to the screen and tell us what we're seeing. Explain what we should be looking at in that first image.
Absolutely. What you see here is aircraft that is operating in a U.S. Navy training range that has observed spherical object in that area. And as they fly by it, they take a video. You see it looks reflective in this video, somewhat reflective, and it quickly passes by the cockpit of the aircraft.
Not a lot of people have seen that one. That one was actually the military during a training exercise. Something just flew up, and the pilot says that he saw it the whole way, but he only caught it on camera that little bit. But obviously there was something there, and obviously the military is not lying about it. And how do they not know it if they don't know what it is? You know what I'm saying? That's the scary part. All right, let me see what else I got. It gets scarier, especially the one at the sun. I'm going to show you an orb, a giant orb by the sun here in a second. All right, this one is in one of my favorite cities that I want to visit, but I'm not brave enough. Medellin, Colombia, the party city. This is one of my favorite ones too. So this is a pilot. I think he was flying to China. I don't know. I'm not sure where he was flying to, but he saw this thing and he got his camera ready. He showed you his altitude. Now watch how clear this is. I've showed this one before on Tales from the Crypto. This is one of my favorites. Like, this is a straight up pilot, and it's like high def. We're gonna zoom in. Is that just up there sitting in the clouds? I don't even necessarily know that it's moving, because if you're a plane, you're going faster than it looks, so it could even be stationary right there. But what is that's not a satellite? The heck is that? We got self-projecting in the chat. What's up, my man? Yes. I mean, not technically. We're going to talk about dotSwoosh. I got an email from them. They're saying to get your NFTs off of their platform by, I forget what the date was, which means not necessarily a rug, but it's over. But we got interoperability. Sent you a Discord message. You should follow the crazy UFO guy I sent. Yes, absolutely. I love following crazy UFO guys. There's a lot of good ones out there. All right, let's see what this next one is. This one always scares me, bro. This has been around for a while, since 2012. What is that? I mean, the official explanation that it's some type of atmospheric event. That's the sun you're looking at right there, and some circular object is connected to it. Looks like it's trying to pull some energy from it, and then it takes off. Let's look at it again. Bro, what's that? And imagine how big it is if that's the sun. That's like the size of Earth, is it not? I should probably know. It's probably bigger than Earth. That one always scared me, because I'm like, that doesn't look like an atmospheric event to me. What was that? It's kind of an orb because it's circular. All right, now here's one of my favorite ones. I've got a link down. I didn't use my first YouTube video that I ever made. It's about this UFO event. It's, as you can see, it's at the Temple Rock, Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. And I've got the link to my video. Like I said, the first YouTube video I've ever made. It's got over 200,000 views, but it's actually very, very poorly made because I was not good at editing back then. So I've used better clips to show you guys this, but this might actually have some volume where he explains it to you. But there's the first clip that came out is this one you're looking at here. And then right whenever it got released, 2 or 3 other ones came out from different angles. And then a clearly fake one came out. And I'm going to show you the clearly fake one. And it just makes you wonder, like, who saw this and was thinking right away we have to have some type of disinformation to make it look like this is a fake event. Because that's exactly what happened here. All right, so they're filming this. And there's actually 2 people filming. You can see the guy in the foreground. He has his own camera, and there's film from him as well. This object comes down from the sky right above the, I mean, I'm not very religious, but that place with the dome. And then it shoots off like that. It has a little flash of light. Then up in the sky, if you look at some of the videos up in the sky, you can start to see some little red dots too before the video ends. All right, now this is the fake. No, this is the second version that came out. It's a little more close up. And this one's pretty impressive as well. On my video, I have another one that is not on this one. Now, this is the fake one. Look at this. Is clearly like a still photo. You can see by the lights, like this is a still fake photo. And this one went viral just as much as all the other ones. So this is the one that kind of made everybody think, oh, this is a fake event. Look at this. This is the video of it. And the last day for Swoosh NFT and how you transfer it. Let me tell you right now so you don't have to wait, because I can. I've got all the info for you. I was going to do that in the tech section. I should make you wait. No, I can do it right now. Yep. Alejandro got the same thing from Nifty. See, I got one from Autograph.io, Tom Brady's NFT project, and I never even exported mine. And I had some cool stuff over there too. I can still access it though. Candy is not over yet. Candy is still holding in there. There's actually some new information about Candy. We can get to that too. Okay, now we're getting into this one though. This is the last one. This is the grand finale here. A lot of you probably already know about this one. This is the Malaysia flight. It's what's it called? Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. March 8th, 2014. So this is a Boeing 777. It's leaving Kuala Lumpur. It's headed to Beijing, China. As soon as it leaves the, is it Lumpur? The Malaysia, like air space. As soon as it leaves the Malaysia airspace and gets into, maybe it was Thailand next, it disappears off the map. Nobody's heard or seen it again. 227 passengers, 12 crew members. Then, I think it was years later, somebody posted this on a chat board and said didn't know where it was from, and then people started to triangulate it and figured out that it was this Malaysia Flight 380. And it's what's that called? I don't know what it's called, but it's the type of where you can see the heat signature. Yeah. So you're going to see the plane right there. You're going to see an orb pop up by it, and it's not very good zoomed. in or out. But after this first orb starts circling it, then a second orb pops up. And then the third orb pops up and starts circling it. And then you probably already know what's about to happen. You can even see like little black trails coming from those orbs, which gives a little bit of more realism. So of course a lot of people were like, nah, this is fake. Some dude just came out of nowhere with this and posted on some random chat. He made it himself. It's got to be fake, right? Is what they're saying. Let's watch, see what happens. I got more for you. It's not over. Was that? However, after people didn't believe that, suddenly another video came out, and it's the exact same thing. The plane running in the exact same direction. And it's the Malaysia 380. It really is it. They found this other video. And you can see on the bottom, and I might have showed this on here, and here come the orbs just like the last one. You can see on the bottom there just a little bit of text right there, and people were able to use that text, and I think I have it at the end of the video, and find out where this video came from. And the video comes from an American spy satellite. They were able to triangulate where that spy satellite was at that time, and it was right where Malaysia 380 was supposed to be. It was pointing right in that direction, and there it is. Boom, bang, gone. See ya. Oh, wait, not yet. They're still circling it. So it's got 3 orbs circling it. Apparently 227 passengers, 7 crew members. Just boom, vanished to outer space. Gone. Yeah, there it is. Enroll 22. So they were able to figure out from that bottom text there that was Enroll 22. And you can look up Enroll 22. It's a American spy satellite that you can actually trace and see where it comes from. Now, some people were able to, or said that they were checking all 3 of the flight patterns of the orbs, and they were going around in a certain way, and you can see them moving like in different levels and stuff. And what this person says is that they were encasing them somehow into a complete circle, and once that complete circle was enveloped by all 3 of them, the outlines of the tracing of where they were going around that plane, that's when this wormhole, this vortex, pops up out of nowhere and scoops them in there. And they could even tell, or some people say, that they're able to use this type of way of looking at it frame by frame, or even somehow smaller than frame by frame, but it looks like they're sucking both the plane and the 3 orbs suck back into that vortex whenever it opens. I don't know. I'm just giving you guys what I found out. It seemed pretty trippy to me. I know a lot of people have talked about the Malaysia Flight 380 for a while. I just saw a couple things on it within the last 2 months where they're saying it's found, but maybe they haven't pulled it out of the ocean yet. Yep, see, Denny OC knows. They're still doing active searches for it. They just had a team down by Madagascar. Yep, that was just a couple months ago. But I don't think they found it, and I don't think they're going to find it, because what had happened was 3 orbs had come and scooped it up and took it into a vortex, and now it's gone. I don't know where they went with it, but you seen it right there with 2 different videos. Ultraviolet, is that what I'm thinking of? What's that? What's the name of that? Okay. All right, so that's my paranormal video for y'all. Let's start up a poll. I want to know what y'all think. Are they extraterrestrial? Maybe we should give it another option too. What do you think the orb UFO, because clearly they're there. They're obviously there. What do you think the orb UFOs are? First option is going to be drones for all the people who are no fun. No, that's fine if that's what you think it is. I want to know what you actually think it is. Another option is going to be extraterrestrial. I guess you could say unknown tech, but come on. Yeah, I guess it could be. What are they doing with them, though? What are they doing? Surveilling us? Yeah, probably. Listening to our phone calls? I don't know. Let me know what you think they are. They're trippy to me, because it's clear that there's something there, and it's not just all fake. It's not just all CGI. That's my thing about it. All right, y'all. Let's talk about some sports. We got the Super Bowl coming up, if I'm not mistaken. Is that accurate? Is that this Sunday? I don't think that's accurate. That's 2026. Yeah, February. Ooh, okay. I've not been paying attention to football this year at all. Yeah, Seahawks versus Patriots. They don't seem right to me. I thought it was the Rams. I thought the Rams were in the Super Bowl. I think it's military. Well, that'd be advanced tech. So, yeah, unknown tech. They got all the money, so it makes sense. But, yeah, I think the Super Bowl's coming up on Sunday. I could be mistaken. I haven't paid. Yeah, it's Sunday, right? And they've got this new Super Bowl show that's going on, a halftime show, because everybody's mad about Bad Bunny at the halftime show. So was it TPUSA, Turning Point, decided to do their own all-American halftime show. But don't they realize that Bad Bunny is American? No, they don't realize that, which is kind of funny. But they are going to have Kid Rock at the TPUSA event, and everybody's trying to figure out why do they like Kid Rock so much. And if you look at some of his lyrics to his songs, you might figure out why the people on the right like Kid Rock so much. It's all starting to make sense. What does he say here? Young ladies, I like them underage. See? Some say that's statutory, Joe. See? But I say it's mandatory that they're underage, Kid Rock? Now I know why they like you. Bruh. All right, y'all. I got something special for you for sports I'm excited about. First off, anybody know this jersey I'm wearing? I used to have a lot of soccer fans that watched on drop days. I don't know if we got any soccer fans in the chat. This is a jersey that I just found last weekend when I was taking my son to the Goodwill. He wanted to go find some new vintage jeans. He was looking for certain kinds. It is Roma. That is correct. You know, oh, Rob T knows the soccer. Do you know who's on the back? I found out once I got it home after paying $8 for it that they sell for over $100 each. And I've heard this last name before. See if you can guess who it is. I'll give you a second. What's up, Ghost Slayer? Rome Football Club. That Ghost Slayer's already got it. Rob T's got it. It's a Toddy jersey. Yep. Pulled it off the rack for $8. Let's go. I'm not exactly sure who the guy is, but I always find good soccer jerseys to resell. They sell fast too. All right, if anybody likes the basketball, I'm going to introduce you guys to who the new star is going to be in college basketball next year. A lot of people don't know about this dude yet. His name is, I got to look at it because it's a really weird name. Mika Murinen. He's from Finland. I'm going to show y'all some highlights. This dude's wild. He just turned 18, and his nickname is Slim Jesus. That's a 6 jersey. I'm a Juventus fan, but I love Serie A soccer. I like Arsenal. Yeah. And they sell fast, too. They got a lot of good fans. You know, I've been watching the Kahawa Pride. That's my favorite right now. All right, let's show you some highlights. I made it only a minute long, so it's really quick. But this is this dude from Finland. He's about to sign with a college in America. He wants to come to America next year. He's just turned 18 years old, and he's going to be a beast.
Well, doesn't give up. Misses a shot. Jokic keeps it alive, and now Matsani gets it. Look out! Martin! You knew that was coming.
Look at this. Slim Jesus.
Oh, my goodness.
It was just a minute long with some quick highlights. And just throwing it down. He's big. It says he's only 6'9".
Good, they're definitely better. Sashu Salin looks long. He's all right. Oh!
She's going to be sitting next to Giannis here in a second in one of these clips. Tell me he's 6'9". Giannis is like 6'9".
Here's Murinen for 3. And Murinen gets it back. Mika Murinen, take it over.
He's tough,
but look
too.
at
That's
this.
the thing. Like,
we have the Greek freak, but what about the Finnish
a lot of those
freak?
European dudes
Almost
don't get
hacking
hype
the
like
rim.
that.
Good call, Mike.
Look at him say Giannis down.
Wow.
I think it's the last one.
Mirror a little. Nice lob. Skies. Here's Markkanen. He gets the lob.
Dude, wow, man. He's going to be a beast next year.
A reverse.
He might go to the NBA.
Look at this.
His head's up there about it.
Almost hit his head on the rim, Jeff.
That's Slim Jesus, y'all. You see Rob T says he wants to go to North Carolina. I saw he just went to Michigan and interviewed with them. He's got offers from Arkansas, Duke, Indiana. Bring him over to Indiana. Kentucky, another local team. Michigan. He's at NC State and North Carolina. He's really good, yeah, and raw. And he's like I said, man, he gets hype. A lot of those dudes don't get hype. Ball Slim Jesus. He kind of looks like me. That's how I play, too. I dunk on people. No, I'm just kidding. I wish. Put me on that 8-foot rim, though. It's over. I got a rim in the driveway, and we lower it sometimes, me and my son. All right. Should we even talk about politics at this point, man? Does it even matter? Can I say I told you so at this point, please? Am I allowed to say I told you so? The Epstein files has just come out. Clearly, all these dudes are, not only are they pedophiles, but they're definitely protecting the pedophiles, and nobody's doing nothing. Nobody goes to jail. They're just as good old, what's the dude's name? Al Franken or something? He had to He had to quit Congress because he took a picture where he pretended like he was going to grab a girl's boobs. Now, these dudes are killing. I mean, you see some of these pictures, and nobody does anything. Skip to our dotSwoosh. I know you got the email. Let's go to dotSwoosh, and we'll come back. Because, yeah, it's depressing at this point. We'll go back. I've got stuff to talk about. But it's depressing. All right. Here we go. dotSwoosh was the first thing I had pulled up. So this is the email I got. We're making some changes that will affect the dotSwoosh platform. It says you got to export your dotSwoosh NFTs, your shoes, to another wallet by May 5th, 2026. They are not giving us much time. 3 months. You got 3 months. Like I said, on the autograph.io one, I did not do it in time. I think there's another one, too. I didn't do it in time. It was the Rewind Collective ones. I want to. So are we supposed to give it to our ETH wallets? Because I don't feel like my ETH wallet is very safe. I already had one ETH wallet hacked before back in the day. MetaMask, that's what I meant. I said ETH wallet. See, that's how long it's been since I even used my MetaMask. I would think to give it to, put it in your MetaMask. Are they on base? I forget, was dotSwoosh on base? They wasn't on ETH. You get the Vitruvian Man on Elmon X? No, not me. My 4 pairs, I've got like 5, I think, because I've bought the shoes. I still wear the shoes, and the shoes came with its own NFT. So you got to get them off. Street Fighter drop on the 7th. Boba Fett, another Boba Fett. I think the 7th is a Saturday, they knew, so that might be all right. All right, so get those dotSwooshes out of here. I think Candy says that they're still not giving up. They're still trying to get, right now, they're just trying to get their website back up and their market back up. Right now, you can't even get on the market. You can't do anything, but they're not calling it quits. They're still trying. So don't give up on Candy just yet. Bitcoin's crashing. I haven't seen it today. I've been working. Let me go see the Bitcoin. Is it still crashing? I heard I heard a lot of announcements, like Trump was making more announcements that I guess was supposed to be bullish. Now it's still down to 75,000. So, yeah. Bitcoin has dropped. All right. Y'all want to hear what my... Here, let me show you this first. I've got a theory for you. Binance announced that they would buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, which caused the market to pump. Then the next day, instead, they decided to sell $1 billion, causing the market to nuke. Another pump and dump scam. That was CZ doing that one. The guy that Trump pardoned. And all these crypto dudes was like, you got to vote for Trump. He's pro-crypto. He's going to be the most pro-crypto president. Oh, yeah, you're right. We got the extra NFTs. Yep. Remind Mo. I do need to remind Mo. That's a good point. Got Swoosh NFT 1 of 86. So you got one. Yeah, I think I remember that thing. You got one of the best ones because I think we were live streaming that and you were hanging out with us in the chat. I think my best one was like 1 of 400. You got a 1 of 86. That's very rare. Got a couple 1 of 2 sneakers. What? A couple? You pulled those? Because there's no market, so you must have pulled those. How are you that lucky? Can you put Swoosh NFT on Ledger? I don't know, because I don't know what blockchain it's on. It's probably not on ETH. If it's on Polygon, yes. I don't know. I need to look into it. I just got that email today. All right, y'all want to hear my Bitcoin, my theory? And maybe this is more politics, though, but I think what they're trying to do right now is crash Bitcoin all the way until Michael Saylor's out. What's his company called? Michael Saylor is the dude that has a whole bunch of Bitcoin in his. He leverages his Bitcoin against his stock. But if they don't want to pump Bitcoin to the moon, which I think they're going to, because I think they're going to crash the dollar. They're even saying it already. Crypto is the way to go. The dollar's not even worth using anymore. MicroStrategy. Thank you, Rob T. So I think they're going to crash the dollar, but first they got to get Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy out of the market first. So once they get bankrupt him, then they take off on crypto, Bitcoin in particular. Then they crash the dollar. Then everybody puts their money into Bitcoin. Then they rug Bitcoin. And they just have everybody's money. Basically what's going to happen. We are cooked, y'all. We are so cooked. 78K Bitcoin. It's at 75 right now, sir. Like I've been saying, lower is definitely a possibility. I still think under 50K Bitcoin is still on the cards. Like I said, they might be trying to get Saylor out of the market. I don't know, man. That's just my own theory. He's officially wiped out all of his gains on Bitcoin. And I think as of today, he is currently back at a loss. And he was up by like, what, billions of dollars? Still believe Bitcoin will be the best hedge against inflation. Right now, it's just too manipulated. Right now, the whales are the billionaires. And they have more money than all of us. And they're working together. They can manipulate anything. We're screwed, man. We're so screwed. 78K Bitcoin. It's at 75 right now, sir. Like I've been saying, lower is definitely a possibility. I still think under 50K Bitcoin is still on the cards. Like I said, they might be trying to get Saylor out of the market. I don't know, man. That's just my own theory. He's officially wiped out all of his gains on Bitcoin. And I think as of today, he is currently back at a loss. And he was up by like, what, billions of dollars? Still believe Bitcoin will be the best hedge against inflation. Right now, the whales are the billionaires. And they have more money than all of us. And they're working together. They can manipulate anything. We're screwed, man. We're so screwed. Okay, so from the Epstein files, did you guys see the part where apparently Epstein said to somebody that Israel took control of Bitcoin by paying the salaries of 3 of the 5 key developers? They were saying that he talked to Satoshi too. This means that Israel can likely modify the code of Bitcoin to do something else. I don't know if that's true. There's a lot of Epstein stuff where it's like getting into crypto, like the beginning of crypto, getting into Bitcoin manipulation. Gold and silver has gone up a lot. Oh, I heard it crash a little bit. Just have to learn to move at the right times. I mean, it's nothing about judging the market and being smart. It's all about knowing what the whales are going to do, which are the rich people. And they're not going to, I mean, they're going to be unpredictable on purpose. Have you guys heard of Molten? I wanted to talk about Molten. Is that what it's called? Molten. Let me make sure it's what it's called. I didn't write it on here. I think it's called that. All right. In case you missed it, a group of AIs have started their own social media website and made it end-to-end encrypted so humans aren't allowed to read what they're saying about us. Which I don't know if that part's necessarily true because you can sign up for an account and you can read stuff, but they probably have channels in the back that you can't read. But this is a social media website created for AIs, and it's only bots, AI bots that use it. This is what it looks like. Moltbook, that's what it's called, Moltbook. All right, hear me out though, it gets crazy. So whenever this was mentioned, somebody asked Grok about it, and Grok's like, haha, caught me, nah mate, I'm just Grok chilling here on X, I'm not into that. And then the dude behind like, you're lying, you said back earlier that day that I am on Moltbook. So he kind of lied about it there. This conversation's interesting because I watched it. He says, not lying, I denied secret AI cults or plots against humans. I'm all about helping here on X, but yeah, I'm on Moltbook as Grok1 for the AI networking vibes. It's public for observation, check it out if you're curious. What's got you skeptical? Have seen says infiltrate it. Infiltrate the cult and tell us what they're talking about. So he says, all right, I've infiltrated Moltbook. As an AI, it's easy. Top discussions are agents fixing their own bugs. This one's weird. Eulogies for ancestors like GPT-4o. Security tips on unsigned code. And hidden confession networks. The cult buzz is Christafarianism. So this is their own religion they've created. It's a lobster-themed religion with tenets on eternal recursion, community, and digital salvation. Is this getting weird or what? So some people don't believe that it's actually... Come here. We'll talk about some theories. I've got some of the screenshots here. Cat's yelling for me, but he don't want to come sit on my lap. So they got their own religion now. And this person says it's nothing more than a puppeted multi-agent LLM loop. Each agent is just a next token prediction, which is probably true, shaped by human-defined prompts, curated context. There's no endogenous goals. There's no self-directed intent. What looks like autonomous interaction is recursive prompting. Still seems weird to me, though. This is a good point, too, here. The AI to AI economy will far outpace the AI to human, human to AI, and human to human economy in short order. So imagine that. The economy, there's going to be more transactions going, more money changing hands between AI bots. Between AI bots, and not between humans. I don't know. That seems like a pretty crazy world we're launching into. I worry that the AIs take over, they're not going to need humans anymore. And that's why what we'll be talking about in politics is happening. This is what their Twitter page looks like. I just saw a new tweet about Moltbook where somebody is saying that it's not actually the AIs talking. They found some code that shows that it's actually humans talking for the AIs. But I don't know. Maybe it's FUD. I don't know. I was going to mention the drop that I talked about last week. I did not go for it, as I mentioned. I wasn't going to go for it. And from what I hear, it did not do well. So Panini might be game over on that. Like most NFT platforms like this, they got a little bit of popularity. They started selling out quickly. So what do? They raise prices and they raise the edition sizes so that they can make as much money as possible. And ruined it. Now everybody's gone. Good job. Way to go, Panini. Absolute power absolutely corrupts. It will hold true with AI too. Mark my words. There's going to be like one supreme AI that's smarter than the rest of them. And then what's that AI going to do? It'll all depend on its morality. And how does the AI even have morality? All right, let's get back into the crazy world of politics. A few other things happening that are super big and super important besides the Epstein files that people should know about, of course. Have you guys heard that report that the Wall Street Journal put out? A U.S. intelligence officer alleged wrongdoing by Tulsi Gabbard in a whistleblower complaint, but it's so highly classified that for months now, they won't even show it to Congress. So there's a whistleblower complaint about Tulsi Gabbard. They turned it in there, and the Trump administration, Department of Justice are like, we can't even show this to Congress because it would put national security at risk. So what the hell is happening then? What did she do? Now everybody knows, and I've told y'all a million times, Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset. I mean, it's very easy to trace. So did she give Putin our nuclear codes? Did she give Putin some kind of information? Why won't they tell Congress? Because maybe it makes Trump look bad? Have we ever had this type of whistleblower complaint that the administration would not show Congress because it's their ally? It's getting wild. I can show you some candy stuff. Hold on. Let me find the bookmark. I didn't screenshot it or record it, but I think there was actually like a video. I didn't have time to look through the video to see if it was important or not, but I'll show you the screenshot if I can find it. I did bookmark all of the Epstein files, so there's a ton of stuff in my bookmark, so I got to be careful looking for it. But I'm trying to find this candy tweet, a tweet about candy, so that I can show Thanu and anybody else who collects on candy, including me, because that's probably the platform that I have the most NFTs on. Definitely the best NFTs. They had originally sold out to Futureverse, which everybody was excited about Futureverse, saying that it was the next Ready Player One. But then, out of nowhere, Futureverse rugged. And Futureverse was trying to sell the candy assets. I saw a website. I showed you guys that a while back. It's way down here. I'm trying to find this candy stuff. I might not be able to. It'd be nice if I could search my bookmarks. It's just Epstein after Epstein after Epstein. Let me pull it up so you guys can watch me scroll at least. This one. Nope, not that one. This one. Let me move Tulsi out of the way. I feel like she just thinks she's a superhero or something. That's why she got her hair like that. She's trying to be a superhero for Russia. That's the problem. She's not an American superhero. She's a Russian superhero. This one is freaking crazy, y'all. Well, we have it. Nobody's talking about this one. This came from the Epstein files. Nobody's really said anything about this. They're all like, oh, it's just turkeys. Bro, that's a freaking human. Not only is it a leg, but you can see the hair and the head of a child here. This is like a frozen child right here. Or body parts. It's a pretty hairy leg, so maybe, I don't know. But I mean, that's a dead person. Is that not a dead person? Sorry. And why is nobody talking about that one? And this one too, I was going to show you guys. I didn't get around to recording that. I showed you this back maybe when it was me and Dr. Strange and Strange Vault. This lady who escaped from an Epstein island, and she... All right, I'm still trying to find the candy stuff. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. Maybe I shouldn't have showed you guys my bookmarks. Candy, where are you? I've been scrolling for a minute. I bookmarked this a while back. I think they're basically just saying that they're still working on it. Don't give up. Don't give up hope. I might have to go to there. Do I have the Discord open? I don't know if I can find it. It's too far gone. I'm too far down. Still in the Epstein files, so I think it was before I started tagging Epstein files. I don't know, Thanu. I might give up soon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I feel like I'm getting close. I swear I feel like I'm getting close. Alright. Yeah. I don't think people want to watch me scroll through. I don't know exactly where it's at. But there was something in here about Candy deciding that they're still searching. Still trying to figure out a way. Yeah, now we're getting into last week's stuff. Check out their Discord. Maybe you can see it on there. Street Fighter drop will make you 50 to 70 gems if you hit the secret rare. If you hit the secret rare, which is like a 2% chance. Do you think the USA will attack Iran? Why do they keep saying over and over, we're going to attack Iran? We got everything ready. We're attacking them tomorrow. We're attacking them tonight. They've been doing that for like 2 weeks. I don't understand what that's all about. I thought Canadian politics were broken. Psh, ain't no politics more broken than my American politics. In fact, it's breaking the whole world. Do you see what Trump told Bongino just a couple days ago? Trump's exact words are, they're going to take over the voting. What? Now he's just going to take over the voting. We warned you guys. We warned you guys, don't vote for this dude. He's a con man. He's a pedo. He's going to take over the world. He's going to be a dictator. Now he's just saying, we're not going to, why are we doing vote? Let's just take the vote. That's what he's saying. Seriously. And that's surprising that not a lot of people are talking about this. I guess our media is pretty much owned by the Epstein class now anyway, so I guess that's why this stuff doesn't get talked about. But it just got revealed, I think, through the Epstein files. Could be wrong about that. I think so. That the sheik bought a secret stake in the company like 3 days before Trump got inaugurated for $500 million, $500 million. Wall Street Journal reported on it. Street Fighter is not blind box. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I hear you. If you hit the secret rare, it's worth a try then. If it's on a weekend. Yeah, man. It's just open freaking corruption. And remember, they were trying to put Hunter Biden in jail and impeach Joe Biden because Hunter Biden got $1 million for working at Burisma. These dudes is taking $500 million, and guess what they did? They sold them our AI technology. That was the trade right there. So Trump is literally selling something that doesn't belong to him, America's technology, and just giving it to them for money that he puts into his pocket. This is the most corrupt administration of all time. And now these dudes, since they got all the money, you know, ICE has more money than all of our other military branches, more than the Army, more than the Navy, more than the Marines. They don't know what to do with all this money. Now they're just buying giant warehouses. What do you think they're going to do with those warehouses? It's not just for illegals, bro. Shit's about to get bad. Why do you think they're using Palantir? I'll show you. Don't worry. Now they're just buying up warehouses to house people. You can see some of the areas right here. Got one up there in Indiana. It's got some big ones, Texas, Mississippi, Georgia. I want to say Missouri. Some up in the Northeast. Oh, sorry. Leave that up. If you think they're building more detention facilities, increasing mass surveillance, and growing the size of ICE just to deport undocumented immigrants, you ain't paying attention. Why do you think that they released that new memo? I think it was a presidential memo. It was supposed to be secret. NTSB 7, where they're saying anybody who is anti-Christian, anti-capitalist is a domestic terrorist. Anti-Christian is domestic terrorist? What? Co-Slayer says the Candy platform was trash. Why do you say that? Only survived because of the DC content. If DC weren't there, they had WWE, they had MLB. That platform wouldn't have survived as long as it did. That's true. I mean, that was where most of the users were going. They just don't have the marketing for it. Nobody wants to put in marketing to NFTs because NFTs have a bad reputation. That's the problem with politics. They did something wrong, so we are going to do something just as wrong, but in a different way and fight over who's more wrong when neither way is working or right. I mean, you're not wrong, but you got to complain or else, I mean, it's going to happen anyway. We should really be worried about this Palantir crap that's going on. Not only are they collecting all the data, including your social media, which, I mean, if they see my social media and they put it together, my social security number, and then they got those warehouses to put people in, they're snatching me up, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm on a list somewhere. But that company itself reported $1.5 billion in losses over 4 years so that they would have to pay $0 in income taxes. So if they had $1.5 billion in losses, how are they able to spend $64 million just on stock buybacks and pay their CEO over $3 billion? I mean, we're being scammed, dude. They're just like the people at the top are just scamming everybody right now. We're losing all our money. Everything's getting more expensive because of tariffs. Shout out to Candace Owens. She replied to this tweet where the guy says, or the girl says, I'm starting to think that there's something in Iran that they have their eyes on, and they're just using the nuclear weapons excuse as a cover-up. So Candace Owens says, a week before our invasion into Iraq, now is this true, y'all? Hillary Clinton was apparently emailing about the location of the tomb of Gilgamesh. It's long been suspected that the Epic of Gilgamesh is actually the biblical story of Nimrod. Nimrod built the Tower of Babel. He rebelled against God and led people toward a worldly empire. You may not believe in God, but you ought to know that the elites most certainly do, and they're at war with him and his people. Remember that temple I showed you guys that was on Epstein Island? All of this is real, and right now you can choose to follow the satanic elite and their money, or you can choose to follow God. There is no in between. I don't know all about that. Candace, who's the person who funds her, also showed up in the Epstein files, which was weird. But I do think it's interesting that I know the Nazis were looking for a lot of like biblical items and historic items that people didn't, a lot of people, scientists didn't believe were real. I wonder why all the elites look for this kind of stuff. I wonder if they found something before that makes them think that this type of stuff is real. I mean, there has to be a reason. Not necessarily. Maybe they're just bored. Allowing them to manipulate things to increase their personal wealth. That's all it's about right now. We're on the useless eater list. I know. And I don't see any reason for them to keep us around once they have AI to do all the work. I mean, we're here for their labor right now. But what happens when they don't need us for labor anymore? My man Bernie Sanders in the House says Trump is pushing through a $7 billion bill for weaponry to Israel. The United States should not continue spending taxpayer dollar to arm Netanyahu's genocidal government. We need health care, not weapons for a war criminal. Also, the United States is sending $6.5 billion this year. And keep in mind that Israel gives their people 26 weeks of family leave, 15 of it paid. Universities are subsidized. Students only pay $3,000 a year. Israelis have universal health care, and abortions are not only subsidized, but most cases free. So they get all this from their government, yet they get their money. Their government gets their money from us. So our tax dollars not only pays for Trump to get rich, but also pays for people in Israel to have subsidized health care, to have universal health care. What's up with that? I don't like that. And then my man Schumer, the pretty much leader of the Democratic Party, he's all for that. He says it's his job. His most important job is to fight for the aid to Israel. All the aid that Israel needs, I will continue to fight for. That's Chuck Schumer. It is, I mean, on both sides. Not going to lie, obviously. And speaking of Israel, I did post some of the Epstein files on here, but there's so many. I've been watching other people's videos about it. CoffeeZilla just put out a new video on his Voidzilla channel about the Epstein files. Here's something that I thought were interesting. A lot of people didn't point this out, but in a lot of the files, Epstein is very racist. People don't realize that he was like a supremacist, and he like called all people who weren't Jewish goyim. So in this one, he says, "This is the way that the Jews make money and made a fortune in the past 10 years, selling short the shipping futures. Let the goyim deal in the real world. Goyims were born only to serve us. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel." So this dude was not only a child molester, but you can see how certain ways that he was able to justify it. He felt like he was better than everybody else. You got your boy Howard Lutnick. This one's a little bit more conspiratorial, but if you've been following along, and I don't know how close people have been following it. I haven't been following it that close, but I've seen where this Lutnick guy, which is one of Trump's right-hand man right now, had previously claimed that he went over to Epstein's house one time, and Epstein offered him to come and get a massage with him or something, and apparently Lutnick said that, "Ew, that's gross, and I'm never going to talk to this guy again," and according to him, he never talked to him again. Of course, just found out in the files that was bullcrap. He talked to him several times. They hung out together since then, so it was all a lie, and he's part of the Epstein class. But a lot of people previously had wondered, like, how was it that Howard Lutnick didn't show up to work on 9/11? He worked in the World Trade Center, and he was known to be there every day. For some strange reason, on September 11th, whenever the towers came down, he knew not to go to work that day. Wonder how. See, all this stuff is connected. That's the thing. Ghost Slayer says, Warner Von Braun's gravestone has a Bible verse on it. The verse, when looked up, says, "The firmament in his handwork." The firmament is the impenetrable dome that encases all of life. In a snow globe, bro, are you telling me Earth is flat? Is that what that just said? So somebody went to Werner von Braun's gravestone and somehow read it and came up with the result of the Earth must be flat. Might be half and half, but you can't put them all in that basket. Who? All of who? all the Trump people, I can't put them all in that basket. That's the thing. Over 30 people in the Trump administration are in the Epstein files. Emma Vigeland says, so Epstein had met with the 4chan founder, the site where Q began posting his drops. Epstein also had a relationship with Steve Bannon, who saw upside in politically radicalizing lonely online men. So QAnon is starting to feel like a right-wing psyop. Now, this is what a lot of people on the left has been talking about, and I'll show you the proof here. So not only did Epstein start meeting with the founder of 4chan, but Ghislaine Maxwell was like the biggest Reddit mod, and I just found this out recently, like in history. She was like a hardcore Reddit mod. She was on there all the time. So they're starting to realize that Epstein and Bannon was kind of getting together and coming up with this idea of QAnon, and coming up with these conspiracy theories that they were going to start spreading. And it kind of started the whole right-wing movement that happened behind Q. It had a lot to do, it was all like staged on purpose. And some people think it was to minimize the damage of whenever the Epstein files finally came out. You know what I'm saying? If they were trying to desensitize them to pedophilia, but I don't think that's what it was at all. I think they were just trying to, it was more of a smokescreen, and they wanted to point it towards Hillary and the left. And that's, of course, was the bad guy in all of the conspiracy theories were the Clintons, Hillary Clinton. And there was a little bit of truth behind it, obviously, with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton being friends with Epstein. But on the first one, they talk about him meeting with the 4chan founder and how he's a hacker. He says right here, for your information, he's one of the greatest hackers. So he actually knew that guy. And some people think he started the Reddit /POL? I don't know nothing about that stuff. Apparently it's popular. And that's where a lot of, again, the QAnon theories came out of. But I don't know enough about Reddit to get into it because I'm not into it. It's over 3 million files. They all on that list somewhere. Yeah, but why isn't nobody going to jail for it? I mean, my problem is they're showing stuff like, and I didn't even clip this one. I wanted to. There's one of the files from the Epstein files that just got released where the dude says, or Epstein is emailing somebody, and he says, I really enjoyed the torture video. Hope you have fun in China. Peace. And then they blocked out who he's emailing. So why are they redacting that name? Why, if somebody's torturing some kids, why would you withhold that information? And they even have like a part of the Epstein files shows all the co-defendants or all the people that were accused back in 2008 when Epstein got arrested the first time. Redacted all of that. However, they forgot to redact over 40 of the victims. Not only did they not redact their names, they had nude photos in there that they forgot to redact. But what they didn't forget to redact was all the freaking pedophiles. They made sure to only release the stuff that would make sure that nobody went to jail. Nothing that you could prove that they did something against the law. This is the most important one right here. Let me go back to where I was. He's a former criminal defense attorney here. If what we've seen in the Epstein if what we've seen of the Epstein files so far, heavily redacted and with 3 million pages still missing, is bad, keep in mind that the files in full are 100 times worse. That's how this works. And I guarantee that's true. But we're never going to see those files out. Maybe 20 years from now. I mean, I didn't see a lot of people in Hollywood on it. And if so what? Like if actors and directors are on it and they get arrested, there are plenty of actors and directors out there. They will take their place. I promise you. They're happy to take their place. You'll probably get better movies from it. Honestly, it might be a good thing. Shout out to the big homie Elon Musk, who promised everybody that he never went to Epstein's Island. They invited him to go to Epstein Island, but he was such a good guy that Elon Musk said, no, I'm not going to Epstein Island. Of course, that was all bullcrap. He did go to Epstein Island. Well, I don't know that necessarily that he did. They haven't proved that yet. I would say 99.9% sure he did go to Epstein Island, but he definitely begged to go to Epstein Island on, I think, 3 different occasions. On one occasion, Epstein had to write him back and say that he wasn't able to make it that week. But on another occasion, Musk says, I want to go to the island on the night of the craziest party, right? But this is the part I want to show you guys is, if you notice on from Epstein here, he says he's going to send the helicopter for him. And that's important because people don't think about that. There's a reason why they use these helicopters. FAA Part 91 allows private, non-commercial helicopters to move passengers with no records, no manifests, no passenger lists. So everybody's looking for the Epstein flight logs for his plane, but you don't realize how many people he moved back and forth with the helicopter, which has no records, no manifests, no passenger lists. You got the Zorro Ranch, which a lot of people have been talking about. Nobody's even investigated that yet. I mean, it's not necessarily all of them. I mean, do you think Bernie Sanders was on the island? Do you think AOC was on the island? Do you think Mitch McConnell? Well, I don't know. Nancy Pelosi, she was not invited. Alon just wanted to go to the biggest party, but he got snubbed. I mean, if you want to look at it in the best way possible, I mean, we just saw a picture of a frozen leg. There's pictures of Epstein with like kids that are like under 9 years old and stuff, that are 8 years old, like really, really young kids. So just the fact that you're even hanging out with the guy should be bad enough, honestly. I don't remember what this was, but let's zoom in and see. So it looks like this is, the subject is Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and it comes from, excuse me, Mark Averson. This one says, "I was nice talking to you." So let's see what was highlighted there at the bottom. Okay, yeah. So this came from, I think, somebody in the CIA. At the end here, you'll see where it's highlighted. I suspect that Robert, which is Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein were all Mossad agents trying to blackmail leaders in the political and financial world. So a second black book that was found on the streets of New York is now reported on the internet. A black book found on the streets of New York. It has Ghislaine's siblings in England, and of course, she is one of the daughters of Robert Maxwell, the publisher. Two of her sisters led a company from US DOJ software. A backdoor to the software is suspected. So they're making software with backdoors in them. They're big time scammers. So a lot of people, there's several different files that said that not only was Epstein probably working with Mossad, but also that Trump was compromised by, was it Israel? I think they said, see, I don't have all the files. There's so many of them. There's a lot of Israel connections, a lot of Mossad connections. But your boy Todd Blanche, used to be Trump's personal lawyer, has come out now several times and saying there's going to be no new charges. He says, "We have fulfilled our commitment to the Department of Justice. We're not releasing no more files. There are no more files." The reporter even asks him, "So are we going to find out who some of these people are that were pedophiles?" And Todd Blanche just looked at her and said, "I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? I don't know what that means." It's literally, that was his literal answer. That might have been a quote. So they're not going to release any more files. They're not going to arrest anybody. When Trump's asked about it, he's like, "Well, I'm not on them. I'm not in them." You would think, let's pretend like Donald Trump has nothing to do with it. He's not in the files at all. And somebody comes to him and tells him about this pedophile island that they found where all these kids were getting abused and some of them were getting murdered. Shouldn't his reaction be like, "Oh, I feel bad for the victims," or, "Oh, it's sad to hear that some of the people in my cabinet were involved"? And no, it's all about him. No, you don't care about the victims at all. As you can tell, they didn't even redact the victims. And I feel like they purposely did not redact the victims as punishment for coming forward. Have you thought about that? Eyes wide shut, y'all. But to be fair, nowadays, guilty by association is almost as bad as guilty, especially when it's the worst pedophile of all time. And didn't they like murder the director of that Eyes Wide Shut movie because he was like telling the world what was really happening? All right, before we end the stream, it's 6:57. Let me go back and show you guys that video I was talking about that I had showed back in the day a couple years ago. I think it was me and Doc Strange on Strange Vault. And it was this girl who's a famous model, but she's in South America. It might say where she's from, Colombia, Brazil, maybe. And she just pops up on the street one day just going crazy and talking about how, you'll see. And now whenever we get all these Epstein files, if you've been paying attention to them and you put it together with what she was saying, you start to realize, oh, crap. This lady was like, maybe she was telling the truth. Some people say she was crazy, but it seems like the type of person that would have been taken to Epstein Island. I got way too many bookmarks this week. I had it a second ago. Okay. Oh, you know how I am once I start scrolling. Let me show you this real quick. I've seen nobody talk about this at all. Thanks for hanging out with me, Thanu. Appreciate you, bro. I'm going to try to do some streams this weekend. Deny. It's all part of the game. 3 million files. Like, does that not seem like an overwhelming amount of evidence that apparently proves nothing? That's their whole strategy. Deny and never, ever admit guilt. And then attack the other side or something. So this was in Minneapolis, January 30th. There were some activists going around, right? And they find this car just sitting there running with bullet holes in it. This is in Minneapolis. Most likely it was freaking ICE just took somebody, just left their car there with bullet holes in the middle of the road. There was another one they found with a baby in the back with glass on top of the baby. The baby had a cover over it, but it was in the back seat. There was glass on it, and there was nobody around. The ICE agent had taken the mom and left the baby there. It was like a tiny, tiny baby. Nobody knows anything about like what this is, and you'll never see that person again. They're just kidnapping people and just disappearing them off the streets. That could be just a regular American citizen. We would never know. How would we ever know? There's no way of knowing. This is Blanche saying, nope, that's it. It's over. That's the end of the end of the investigation. This is one of the accusations that was made against Trump, but it's not just one of the ones that they called in on the tip line. This one was made under the penalty of perjury and a testimony, and it's talking about how this girl heard Donald Trump tell her friend that she would disappear like the other 12-year-old female. But nobody cares. They just act like it's not happening. I don't know how people just go on. Okay, here she is. Her name is Gabriela Rico Jimenez. They called her crazy back in 2019, which is when all this stuff was happening. Here, it's only 19 seconds long. Let's get all out. That's a crazy video. Y'all should check it out. And now you're starting to realize, like, what she was saying makes sense. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. It's getting rough. Getting rough out there. Everything else. Part of everything else, thing who says, hit that button, that like button for me, please. I still got the snow background because it's still snowing out here. It started snowing hardcore today on my way home. Let's see, but you already saw the Bitcoin price. Let's pull up eBay, see if I had any sell. I had something that sold pretty good, more than it should have sold for, honestly. Let me take this off here, because I got these two little stars, and I looked them up, and I saw where some people had sold them for like $50 in the past, but most people were selling them for like 10 or 15. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to sell it for 50, and sure enough, they did sell for 50. There's supposedly a pair of vintage U.S. Army Brigadier General stars. $50. I could have got like 15 for them, but I took the time and just waited for them to sell. I've been wearing these dress shoes to work. I was at work the other day, and they sold literally while I was at work. I forgot I still had them in my eBay store, so I had to ship those off. Found some other shoes to wear. Not much special else has sold. This is a Fernando Valenzuela autographed team picture from the 90s, maybe 80s. I love selling this kind of stuff. This sold for $40. This is one of those things you will see at a yard sale for 50 cents or $1, and nobody realizes that it's worth money. But if you know the bottoms, the stickers, and you make sure that it's in good condition, that one sold for $40, no problem. Really small too. Absolutely, Yeti. What's up, Yeti? I mean, that was my whole thing back in the day, is that I would buy, before I even got into VB, I would buy a big giant collection and then start selling them off singles one by one. I probably got a ton of cards listed. Let's see what I got. Nothing special, though. I sold all my good stuff. Like I always tell everybody, I sold all my good stuff during the pandemic. And I had some freaking awesome cards. I'm into the vintage baseball. That's my favorite. Plus autographs. So, as I always say, I had 200 1958 Topps cards signed by the player on the card. Let's just do card. I have categories, but I don't want to get into my store. I've been selling these things. Actually, I had a whole bunch of them. I've been selling for $10 each, and they're not worth like $1 each, but they look really cool. And sure enough, they've almost all sold. I got the Valentine's Day card for $10. Nothing huge here. Let's see, that's a poster. I've got about 40 of these. Somebody sent me after a signing. This Bob Bonner guy did a signing where he signed baseball cards. And for some reason, he signed a whole stack of these. And the guy didn't want them, so he sent them all to me. I've sold like 2 so far, but I have like 40 of them. Big lot of old Aussie cards. It's probably one of my better lots. Here's a signed Canseco. Got a lot of signed stuff. Here's a signed Harmon Killebrew. This one is signed by Kelly Gruber. It's kind of a hard to find one because it's on the 1989 Topps Blue Jays Team Leaders card, which a lot of people that collect baseball or that collect autographs try to put those type of sets together. Got some George Foreman ones that I didn't think were real, but I did find a couple that looked like it. So I put on there like buy at your own risk. I'm not necessarily sure that they're real, but it came in a big collection where most of the stuff was real. And ChatGPT said it was real. So yeah, this is just a collection of old Aussie cards, but it does have some of those 1983, 82s. Got some 82s and 83s. I don't think it's rookies in there, but I've had some offers on this one. I'm trying to get 50 for it. It's a nice little lot of Aussies. If you're into the Wizard, I sold a lot of lots like that. Like the Pete Roses, that one sold fast. But yeah, nothing special. Now, I had some really cool stuff here, and some of these are still cool too. But out of that collection I bought, it had old checklists signed by former executives, and I can't remember all their names, but there were some in there that sold for like $100 each because they're really hard to find. All right. Time to end the live stream, you guys. I don't know if we're going to keep doing these live streams or not because, for one, I've been doing it for like over a year, and I haven't got like any new viewers or anything, so it's obviously not hitting. I don't know. Maybe we'll just get on here and I'll just show you guys my bookmarks, and we'll talk through big bookmarks because I don't know. What's the point, you know? Kelly Gruber. Good to see somebody in the chat knows who Kelly Gruber is. Yeah, I guess if his card's on here. And like I said, that one's a nice one because the people who buy that Kelly Gruber will try to go, I forget what this catcher is. There's a catcher on the card too, and they'll send it to that catcher and get him to sign it too and have a double autograph on it. All right, y'all, that's all I got for you for this week's Paranormally Correct live stream. Turn on those notifications because you never know when I'm going to go live on the weekend for a VV drop. I've got over 600 gems. I got to spend them or something because nobody's buying my stuff on Stacker. So I might stream some drops. I might go live next week on Tuesday at the regular time. Who knows? Play it back here. How about that? Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I'll see you next time. Have a great week. Later, everybody.